It's happening.
Hey, first one,
First one.
episode one. We are
Talking
here,
in
man.
pure basketball.
Pure basketball. Wow.
To everybody tuning in, give us a little grace. Is our first
Yes.
episode. We working through it. We're trying to
We
figure out how
working
this one's
through
gonna work. you know.
it. But that makes it bittersweet because
Yeah.
again, this is natural,
Yeah.
making natural mistakes. But now we're here. What's up, Reese, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Very excited. Very excited to get into this one.
Oh my gosh, man. Me, as you know, loving the game of basketball. I'm so happy the NBA season is back. It's normal. Crowds are back. A
Yes,
lot of
sir.
people still not wearing masks, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll all be okay
Yeah.
at the end of the day. But the NBA season's back, man. Exciting times. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of great topics tonight. And I'm just ready to go, man.
Yeah. I never knew how much I miss people yelling at the 76ers from the stands until it wasn't there. I was like, I need to hear some taunting. I need somebody to start shouting at somebody.
Speaking of the Sixers, real quick, now it just came out them saying the Sixers are not going to charge Ben Simmons anymore. He's dealing with a couple issues right now, and I'm happy to see that they're not gonna keep finding him, and he's gonna get his whole money. Hold on, did we lose Reese here? Let me see. See, it's okay. It's okay. You see, guys, first one. It's all right. Technical difficulties. Let's let's see if we can get Reese back on here. Yeah, but when he comes back on, that's fine. So it's just me. So, guys, again, I'm excited that the NBA season is back. A lot to talk about, a lot to get into, and there we go. It's all good. We good? Hold up. Put your can't hear you, Reese. It's that Georgia Wi-Fi. I'm telling you. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. And while we get Reese, Reese, are you? Hold on, you moving? Let me see. Hold on. All right, as we get, let's try to get Reese back on here. That's fine. We'll get him back on here. We good?
I think.
Let me. You keep freezing up. That Georgia Wi-Fi, Reese.
It's messing with me.
We'll work on it. It's okay. It's okay.
The Lord is testing me today.
Let me see. And thank you, people that are viewing so far.
Tuning in, being patient.
Being patient. We appreciate it. We already got it. Let me see. Our guy Dan said, "Where's that lane line?"
I got it plugged in. I don't know what to tell him.
This is why our show, is so great, because this is just all natural, man. We are human beings at the end of the day. So let's just get into it, man. Let's just make the best of it. All right. Let's get into this 75th man roster, man. Wow. Yeah. A lot of negative feedback over the past week on this.
A lot of great names left off of it.
A lot of great names, man. Let's start with you. Who you think got snubbed, man? Let's get into it, man.
The one that bothered me most was Vince Carter. I don't know how you have a career that long in the NBA and are explosive for so long as a player, and then are left off of that. I mean, does anybody doubt that he's a Hall of Famer? Is there any doubt that Vince Carter is going to the Hall of Fame?
And the crazy part is he showed that he's willing not to chase a ring.
Yeah.
His last few years, he's playing with the Hawks. And
Yeah.
during that time, the Hawks wasn't who the Hawks were. But actually, thinking about it now, I believe Trae Young has given Vince Carter a lot of credit during his time there, because Vince Carter, being the savvy veteran that he is, I felt like he is part of the reason why who Atlanta is now.
Yeah. 100%. He helped guide that young core of players to where they are. He played in Toronto for so long when nobody did anything in Toronto. People were running for the hills. He stayed. He played. He's been bounced around the league, but he's always been a solid player. He's always been athletic. Even in his later years, he could still get up there.
Yeah.
He could still get up in the air, still put it in the basket.
The best slam dunk competition of all time.
Best slam dunker of all time. 100%. I don't think anybody comes close to what that man could do underneath the rim. It was insane.
And the thing is, right, when it comes to Vince Carter, and that's great that you picked that one out, because I think Vince Carter shown the young generation that you typically don't need to ring chase, because Vince Carter just loved to hoop. He just loved to play basketball.
Yeah,
and also get the minutes that he did at a certain age as his career went up and up, because he's like, listen, I want to go to an opportunity where I just want to play, because a lot of guys that ring chase, they're usually on the end of the bench, guiding the youth. And Vince Carter was doing both. He was playing and he was guiding. Now, don't get me wrong. You're in a different class. You're in a different level when you get these championships, right? But I actually have and we can go back and forth with certain players that we felt like should have been on and should not be on. All right. Now, this is not a hot take, but I'm just gonna say it is, because I respect this hooper. I respect him as also a man, a father, a basketball player, a rapper. But I'm talking about Damian Lillard. He's on this list. But if we're not gonna give Vince Carter, who hasn't won a ring, even though Damian Lillard's still in the league, what has he proven? Yes, he's clutch. But what has he done? He hasn't won a ring. He's getting bounced out of the first round, second round. He made it to the Western Conference Finals a few years ago, but got swept with a KD-less Warriors team. How do you feel about that, man?
I love Dame. Don't get me wrong. I think Dame's great. And I think with a ring, Dame is on this list. I think with a ring, with a championship underneath the belt, Dame's on this list. But how in the hell is Dame there and Dwight Howard, who has a ring, not? Dwight Howard, who for a stretch there was the greatest defensive player in the league.
Three-time defending champion.
Yeah, and there was no denying it. The man can rebound better than 90% of the people in the league. Okay, he just knows how to box out for a ball, which is how you win basketball games. People miss a little over half of their shots thrown up. You have to get rebounds to win.
Yes,
he is crucial to the winning of that championship team. Had to get up there, had to get the buckets, had to get rebounds. He has been, a 10-time All-Star?
10-time All-Star.
And he's not on the list. Are you telling me right now that Damian Lillard is right now better than Dwight Howard?
Even his career stats. I mean, yes, Damian Lillard's a better scorer, of course.
Yeah.
But overall, man, Dwight Howard's resume is through the roof. Slam dunk champion.
Few people I've ever seen with a 40-40 game. I mean, that's insane.
And the fact that he actually reintroduced himself to the league, right? The league wanted to kick him out after getting traded from Orlando to the Lakers, dealing with a back injury, and people don't give him enough credit that season because He actually took that Lakers team with the late great Kobe Bryant to the playoffs. They got swept that year by the Spurs, but Dwight had her injured back and still fought through it. Then he goes to Houston. All right, new energy with James Harden. Dwight still was dealing with back injuries, right? But he still gave numbers. He brought that Houston team with James Harden to the Western Conference Finals against that Golden State team. But who was beating the Warriors during that time?
No, nobody. Nobody was beating the Warriors.
So he goes from Houston, he goes to Charlotte. Charlotte, it doesn't really work out.
Yeah. But he did have a 40-40 game in Charlotte with Kemba Walker.
They had great chemistry.
I mean...
So, and then where am I going? Charlotte to... Did he went to Washington?
Yeah, I think he went to Washington next.
Yeah, and
John Wall and Bradley Beal.
Yeah, he had a butt injury, but but he fought through that, and then I think that's when he transitioned to LA.
Yeah,
and won a ring that year. But that offseason, he transitioned his whole body. Dwight, look, if you haven't looked at Dwight Howard, he looks like a completely different.
And he knew his body couldn't sustain the weight he was carrying anymore. He couldn't be the same kind of player he had been that long. He adjusted.
Yeah.
He adjusted his body. He adjusted his style of play.
Yes. His ego. He killed his ego.
Killed his ego. And he got a ring. And he's been an incredible player. And it takes a lot for you to dominate basketball one way for a long time and then have to say to yourself, this way is not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
You got to swallow your pride and say, I got to change the way I'm doing it. And he did. And somehow he's not on the 75th anniversary team.
So I want to get your opinion on this because I'm curious about this. Because my next, and then I'll ask you who else you think shouldn't be on it. Why do people don't give credit to Rasheed Wallace?
Because people don't know Rasheed Wallace.
Did he not change the game as a forward?
He did. 100% he did. And for the casual NBA fan, off the top of your head, if you start naming stars at the forward position, somehow his name never comes up. But he did change the way you played at that position. And was a fantastic player. I mean, incredible athlete, could run both sides of the floor.
Could shoot the ball.
Back in a time where you had to both play defense and offense.
Yes.
He could do both.
But how many guys can say they beat Shaq and Kobe in the finals?
Not many.
Rasheed Wallace can.
He can.
That Pistons team, gentleman sweep.
That was a great
Lakers
Pistons team.
Oh my gosh! But Rasheed Wallace was a big part. And let's rewind Rasheed Wallace's career. Also, he almost beat that Lakers team in 2000 with the Blazers with Scottie Pippen, Steve Smith, that whole crew, Sabonis. Went to another finals with the Celtics back in 2010. Oh, we lost Reece again. Hold on. And guys, and whoever's on here, our viewers chip in. Dan, you said J. Cole. J. Cole, man, he needs to really get back in the lab. That's one of my favorite rappers of all time. But before we get Reece back on there, Rasheed Wallace changed the game completely. I really feel that, and with that 2010 season with the Celtics, people don't know that Game 7, Rasheed Wallace played with an injured back as well, but still dropped some numbers. And look at Reece in here. Okay, Reece will come back on here. Dropped some numbers in 2010. Did they get the job done? No. Gasol, Bynum, they played out of their mind. Kobe played out of his mind. That Game 7. But I just feel like Rasheed Wallace, with his grit, his attitude, he's a legend. And the fact that he's not on one of the 75th teams is a problem for me, because I just feel like, yes, Kevin Garnett is one of my favorite players of all time. Let's get our guy back on here.
I won't have to move. It's come up to the conclusion. I'm gonna have to move to a different state. There ain't no option left.
Well, so right from what I see is it's blurry right now.
Yeah, okay. That feels right. All right.
Take your time. Take your time. But as I go, Reece, you can hear me still talk about this.
Yeah.
Rasheed Wallace is a legend to me. And I just feel like it's kind of disrespectful that he's not on this list.
It is highly disrespectful. He was a great player. He changed the position.
Yeah.
I don't understand how guys who changed the position aren't on that list, you know? Like Steph changed 3-point shooting, changed the game, okay? Yeah. So he should be on the list.
He should.
LeBron changed what – well, let's be honest. His entire career, because he's positionless. He can put it anywhere, and he can play it somehow.
Right. Hold on, Reece. Can't hear you again, brother. I'm gonna remove you and come back on. Come back on. As we get that. Yeah. So, and thank you, people that are on here. Thank you for your patience. That Georgia Wi-Fi. It's okay. So that's my take on Rasheed Wallace. I feel like Rasheed Wallace should be on that list. He changed the game of basketball. He changed the way bigs should shoot the ball. Oh, there we go. Let's get him back. There we go, brother. hey.
Mess.
When we get off of here, we're gonna try to figure out where you can move. Maybe you can come out here to Boston.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
But yeah, you got anybody else on this list that you feel like got snubbed?
Let me think.
Because I can go. Go ahead. I can keep going.
Not off the top of my head. You rattle off some names, and I'll talk shit about who should not be on there.
So let's talk about why Chris Bosh is not on this.
See, that's insane. That's insane. How are you telling me that I'm not trying to disrespect this player, but how are you telling me that Reggie Miller in his prime was a better player than Chris Bosh?
So that's a hot take right there, because Reggie Miller is one of the greatest of all time.
Yes,
right.
He is.
Greatest shooters of all time.
Yes,
and he did unfortunately play in an era where Michael Jordan was just Michael Jordan. He did take that Pacers team to a Game 7 back in '98, I believe, against the Bulls, and he was almost there. But you can't just be like this with Jordan. You got to go all the way and beat one of the greatest shooters of all time. He did have his opportunity back in 2004, that brawl season, but then that broke it up. But that's a pretty interesting, because Reggie Miller, and again, if we're going, the thing about this list is, are we going off of rings or are we going off just
the play?
Yes. And I'm confused, because Chris Bosh has 2 of those rings. Yeah. He's been to 4 finals. He was a big part of that Heat team. He made one of the biggest rebounds of all time and kicked it out to, I hate to say it because he's a former Celtic, and he went to the rivalry team. I'll say his name, Ray Allen, one of the greatest shooters of all time.
Yeah.
Chasing the ring. Chasing the ring. Jay, we get it, Ray. We get it. You're bald like me, so shout out to all the bald guys. But made one of the biggest rebounds of all time, kicked it out to one of the greatest shooters of all time. Big part of why LeBron is LeBron James, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And why Dwayne Wade is Dwayne Wade. Because think about this big 3 stuff. The reason why I love the Celtics big 3 in 2008, you couldn't, even though, yes, was it Ray Allen was the odd man out of that big 3? It was just KG and Parrish. And people talked about Ray, but just like Ray Allen was by far the biggest piece of why KG and Parrish have a ring. You needed that shooter. You needed that person that was
someone to toss out to.
And who was he guarding, Reece, every finals? If you can remember.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
With the Lakers and Celtics, who was Ray Allen guarding every finals? Kobe Bryant.
That's true. And that's a hard ask.
That's a hard ask.
Don't ask him. I would never want to have to run up and down the court all night with Kobe Bryant. The man had an unlimited battery. Okay. The man never ran out of energy. He would gas you. And then in the fourth quarter, he'd be like, great game. And just go off and start scoring.
The man dropped 81 points. Like, come on, what are we talking about here? And that's what I'm saying with when it comes to Chris Bosh, and people don't understand this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Bosh played in Toronto, right? Mm-hmm. If you think about it, after Vince Carter left, you're gonna ask a rookie in Chris Bosh when he got drafted to take over that when Vince Carter left. And to Chris Bosh's credit, he did the best he could.
That's true.
I believe he got them to the playoffs twice. I could be wrong, maybe once or twice. But that's a tough ask because nobody was going to Toronto.
No, it wasn't a viable option. Everyone was like, Canada, hell no.
Hell no.
Running.
Snow, hell no.
No.
And so Chris Bosh, man, should be in the list. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But put him on the list, man. I got another one, man. And people are gonna, hopefully agree with me. Rondo. Why is Rajon Rondo not in this? And again, Jason Kidd is Jason Kidd. Mm-hmm. He made the list. One of the leaders, assists. I think he is the assist leader. Mm-hmm. But Rondo's number 3. Rondo's number 3. 2-time champion with two of the best franchises in the NBA, the Lakers and Celtics. Yeah. Why is he not on the list?
I guess because when people think about those teams, they don't realize the impact Rajon Rondo had on those teams. Okay, because let's be real, on the court, he doesn't have a dominating presence. He's not scaring anybody, but his control of the floor, which people don't understand how important a point guard, bench or starter is, being able to get out there and just facilitate an offense and move the ball around and get guys in the right places. It's not just passing the ball. You have to be able to know, hey, you move here, you move there.
Yep.
You have to control that floor. And Rajon Rondo is one of the greatest to ever do it, but he was never flashy about it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he was just a quiet guy who went out there and played basketball. And so people don't realize the impact he had on those championship teams. But I don't understand how they don't see it, because the minute that he wasn't there in Los Angeles, they fell apart.
Yeah.
They fell apart offensively because they had no one who could come off the bench with the second unit and control.
Yep.
And keep the flow of the game running the same, okay, which is really hard to do. And if you're a starting 5 and your bench players are out of sync and they put you in a hole and you have to keep coming out there and fighting your way back into a game, you eventually get gassed. You run out of energy, you lose. Rajon Rondo is one of the best ever to say, okay, second unit, we're about to keep this game exactly where we want it to be every time.
Every time.
But nobody understands how important that is, as far as the casual fan goes, at least, that you're a point guard who can control a second unit that well is worth their weight in gold.
So, and it's true, man. Rondo was a big piece of the 2008 Celtics team. That whole Celtics dynasty with Paul Pierce and KG, he was a big part. That championship with LeBron, Rondo was clearly one of the best players on the floor during that playoff run.
Absolutely.
Like I said, he's number 3, I believe, assist leader of all time. One of the best basketball minds of all time. Please, I just don't understand why he's not on here. My last one, man, before we get on to some different topics here, is, I try to look and make sure to see if he was on this list, but he wasn't. Why is Kawhi Leonard not on this list? The man won a championship for a whole entire country.
That's true. He won in Canada, which I thought was impossible for the longest time. I thought that was you ran away from Canada to win rings. You didn't go to Canada to win rings. Okay. And if you I think if you were to ask people, they would say to you the unit around him was fantastic at the time. Okay, Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet. Yeah. He had a great supporting cast on the court. Danny Green, wasn't Danny Green on that team that year?
Danny Green, Marcus Gasol. Yeah.
They had a great supporting cast. He's never exactly been the player who controls a team, like he's just like, you get him out in the court and everybody knows that guy's in charge. Okay.
That's true.
He's kind of quiet. Now he's dominant, but his leadership skills have always come into question.
Right.
I will be the first to say, I think he's one of the greatest defensive players ever.
Oh my God.
He can lock you out. I mean, I have never seen somebody just straight up stop LeBron like that before. But
exactly.
You could send him out there and he would be like, all right, I'll tee up with King James and we'll figure it out. And he did. He gave LeBron hell.
The famous clip is LeBron. He's at the free throw line, and before he gets the ball, sub comes in. He turns. He looks at Kawhi. He's like, "Shit."
Yeah, because he didn't want to deal with him. And if you can make the King do that,
right,
that you were incredible. Okay, but his ability to lead a team, we're seeing it at the Clippers right now. His ability to lead a team without necessarily a top tier supporting cast around him to a playoff is hard.
Right.
Or to a playoff victory is hard.
Yeah.
And if a lot of people are going to say, what about him in the Raptors? Wasn't he leading that team? Kyle Lowry was leading that team still.
Yes.
Okay? Kyle Lowry was the guy on the court when that was going on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi was a dominant offensive force. Everyone looked to Lowry for leadership. If you want Kawhi to be great in LA right now, get him someone who can be in charge.
Exactly.
And so that's why I don't think he's on the list, is because although he's a great athlete, he's a great player, he doesn't take over teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's hard if you're talking about the 75 best players to ever play in the NBA to say a guy who can't lead a team is one of the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Warriors were broken down that year.
Yeah.
No KD, no Klay Thompson. It was just Steph Curry.
They fell apart. That whole team just fell apart. I think Draymond was out a few games.
Draymond. And before KD went down, if we remember that game, KD hit his first 7 shots.
Yeah, was killer. Was killer.
And
speaking of people going crazy, how about Steph going 9 for 9 in the first quarter? That was brutal.
Who is this guy, man?
I don't know. I think he's trying to win another MVP. I think he's come out so hot.
He's gonna get his sidekick back.
Yeah, he is. And
the West
looks good.
The West is they better be on notice, because you see, and it's good that we're about to transition to the team that we're about to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers, they got exposed by the Warriors game
they
1.
Did. They
without Klay Thompson, because guess what? They gave Poole some confidence now.
Jordan Poole is a good shooter. People don't realize how good he actually is.
And a scrappy defender.
Mm-hmm.
So you gave him confidence. You gave Andrew Wiggins has always been a good player. Klay, I feel like it's going to put him to another level.
Of course.
You had Draymond.
Mm-hmm.
But the pieces around him, obviously Steph is Steph.
Mm-hmm.
But Otto Porter, another savvy veteran that can shoot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We're forgetting that Wiseman is going to come back.
Yeah. Wiseman's going to be back in that court.
And he is athletic. He can shoot. He can defend.
He's big as hell. I mean, I don't want to tee up with him underneath the basket. I don't think anybody does.
But the supporting cast that they have,
mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer. They need to get Isaiah Thomas in there, who can elevate their bench, who can elevate that bench.
He need to come off the bench and be a great bench guy.
You need to rest Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
You need to rest him. You need, because he is getting older.
And in Golden State's best years, Sean Livingston coming off the bench was a great second unit guy. If you're trying to tell me that Sean Livingston is a better point guard than Isaiah Thomas, you're lying. I mean,
but can you imagine that?
Yeah, I can. I like that fit a lot.
Who are you gonna guard? Because Steve Kerr. That's why he's one of the best coaches right now, because he would put a lineup: Isaiah, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond at the 5. How are you gonna stop that? I'm not saying that's a starting 5, but throughout the game, just to up the score, they will probably get that lineup. We lost you again, Reece. It's okay. We'll get Reece back on here. But yeah, I feel like the Warriors, man, they're about to make life difficult for the Western Conference in the NBA, because Steph Curry, like Reece said, he's chasing that MVP, and I think he wants it, and I think if he keeps playing at this level, he's gonna end up getting that, because he deserves it. He almost got it last year, but they didn't finish. The right way in the playing game. But definitely watch out for the Warriors. Klay Thompson, I can't wait to see him come back, because I miss seeing Steph Curry and Klay play together. Best duos to ever do it when it comes to shooting the 3-point shot. Really respect that Warriors organization. They've had a couple, not say, last year was actually a successful season. They didn't make the playoffs, but I also do feel, the year before, they needed to get, their eyes open. And I believe Draymond and Steph Curry said, teams were at that time hunting them, because for 5 years in a row, the Warriors were hunting everybody. The Warriors were dominant, with Kevin Durant especially. So again, the Warriors have revamped themselves, and I can't wait to see, when their whole team gets back in order and becomes the Warriors of old, because I just feel like once Klay comes back, that's another piece where you can just put in, and, you just ask him to catch and shoot. I am curious to see if he's going to be one of the best defenders like he was years ago. He's dealt with a few injuries now, but it's going to take him some time. And, I'm not really worried about Klay at all. So, we'll talk more Warriors, especially throughout the season, because I'm excited for them. Let's talk about the Lakers. Me personally, I'm not really worried about the Lakers right now because of LeBron James. Obviously, LeBron has been through this before, where he's, trying to figure out a new team, trying to figure out his basketball team in the beginning of the season. I believe he stated that he's been through this before, right? He's been through this before. He knows what to do. He knows how to control and pick his team up when they are hitting adversity. He also said he loves adversity, and I respect that. I really respect that, because LeBron James obviously is one of the best basketball players of all time, best basketball minds of all time. And, the media needs to just, if they haven't figured it out now, LeBron has been to how many finals now? How many rings does he have? I go back to a year, and it wasn't that long ago. About, was it 2 years ago? I would say 3 years ago, back in 2018. With that Cavs team, people counted them out. People thought that, it was just LeBron, because remember, in the beginning of the season, they had Isaiah Thomas. He was injured, but they had Jay Crowder, Dwayne Wade, Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, Iman Shumpert, who should be in the league. I feel like Iman Shumpert, I've always been an Iman Shumpert fan, just off of his defense and his ability to score as well, because he is a good scorer. But with that team, they broke apart through the trade deadline, and LeBron gets a whole different team. He gets Jeff Green. Who else was on that team? George Hill, Jordan Clarkson. Guys that teams didn't really think that they can help them win. So obviously you have LeBron James. You know, LeBron's going to figure it out. And I think it took them a while also as well to figure it out. Blink of an eye. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals. I believe the first round they beat the Pacers. Word. Let's get my guy back on. Word. Hey,
I bought a plane
okay,
ticket. I bought a plane ticket. We getting out of
Boston.
this.
Let's get out.
Boston. We
Come to Boston.
It's a mess.
It's all good, man. I've been holding it down for us. Don't worry.
I appreciate it.
No, of course. But the conversation now, we switched it to the Lakers. And
okay,
what I was saying is, LeBron, I am not worried. I'm not worried about this Lakers team right now. I was just comparing, 3 years ago, when he was with the Cavs, and how in the beginning of the season he had Dwayne Wade, J.R. Smith, Jay Crowder, Isaiah Thomas, who was hurt, Kevin Love. They had a tough stretch. Trade deadline comes, the whole Cavs team breaks up. He has Jordan Clarkson, George Hill, Jeff Green, all these guys that teams didn't think that they can help. Blink of an eye, he beats the Pacers in the first round. He beats the Raptors in the second round and comes to my team, the young Celtics, when Kyrie got hurt that year. So you had Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Brad Stevens. Like, remember, the Celtics went up 2-0.
Yeah, they looked really good that year.
They looked dominant.
And that was the year I said they should trade away Kyrie. Like, just get him out of there.
Get him out of there. So, a blink of an eye, we're in Game 7. I'm feeling good. I'm thinking the Celtics is about to go to the finals. But guess what? My fan self was rooting and was like, LeBron can't beat us.
Yeah.
But I lost track of my basketball intelligence for that one moment because I forgot who LeBron James is.
Yeah.
He does not stress. He is not worried. He's gonna figure it out. Blink of an eye, he's in the finals with that particular team. They get swept.
Yeah.
They get swept.
By a dominant Warriors team.
But remember, he dropped 51 points game 1. That's the finals where he looks at JR like, what are you
doing?
What are you doing?
What happened at the play clock, JR? Did you forget it existed? What's going on?
So, and shout out J.R. Smith. He's doing a great job in college now with the golf team. He's old as hell, but it's okay.
Yeah, for sure. It's
okay. It's okay. I respect the switch up. But with this Lakers team in particular, Reece, how do you feel about where they're at right now with their rough start?
I agree with you 100% that LeBron is gonna get if anybody can fix dysfunction in this league in a team, LeBron James can do it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard are teeing off each other the second game of the season, but somebody needs to shut that down fast. Okay. I don't know which one of them started it, but one of them needs to end it now. Okay. You two.
See, I would have been that teammate after the game. I'd have been like, listen, all right, cameras off. 5 minutes in the locker room. Go ahead. Y'all handle what y'all gotta handle.
Handle what you're gonna handle. I'll lock the door.
Not promoting violence for the young listeners out there, but sometimes you gotta. This is what you gotta do.
Sometimes two grown men need to punch each other one time, okay, and then decide what are we doing.
Who do you got in that, by the way?
Oh man, okay. Off the top of my head, like I want to say Anthony Davis because he's younger. He's more agile. But Dwight Howard is such a big guy. Like, I think like he could, he's so big. I think he would just like manhandle him a little bit. And then Anthony Davis would be like, oh, wait, hold on. He's a lot bigger than I thought.
Because people thought Anthony Davis pushed Howard to the chair, but everybody was holding Dwight.
Yeah, that's right.
And it goes to your saying of Dwight how big he is. I saw 5-6 guys on Dwight trying to hold him down.
They brought an extra guy in off the bench. Like, hey man, could you come?
I think they told a fan to come down. Like, listen, we need your help, man. So that would be fun. But again, we're not promoting violence, obviously.
No,
but it's all good. I would, that would have been fun to see. but at the same, go ahead, keep going.
I'm sure they're gonna sort that out. The biggest question that everybody's asking is what the hell is Russell Westbrook to this team? Okay, because I have yet to figure it out. I don't know how he fits at all. The hottest take I've heard someone say was Skip Bayless on Undisputed say that they should make him the sixth man. They shouldn't make him a starter. They should let him come off the bench. And I was like, he will burn Staples Center to the ground. He will go crazy.
He said, I'm from LA. You gonna do this?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's true though, because and Skip Bayless, I've heard him call Russell Westbrook, and that's
sometimes he does turn into a brick. We know
we know that, but I do consider Russell Westbrook one of the best of all time.
Absolutely.
Now it could be a lot of different stuff going on in his head. He's back home. This has probably been a childhood dream of his. LeBron said it. I think it was after the first game of why, because I think Westbrook had a tough game, but LeBron was, and this is why LeBron James is so he's starting to grow on me even more.
Yeah,
except when he plays us, but
absolutely.
I'm pretty sure with the Hawks too.
Yeah. He comes to Atlanta. I don't care for him.
But he said it best. He said, "Listen, even though he keeps calling people the kids and stuff." Call Westbrook his name, but he said, Westbrook, he can imagine being in Westbrook's shoes. You know how many people are asking for tickets, how many people are, him being, this is his childhood dream, him being from LA, him trying to figure everything out. Because you see it, he looks nervous out there. He looks really nervous out there. This dude had 9 turnovers last night,
and that's the biggest stage he's ever had to be on. Okay. That's the biggest stage he's ever had to be on. I know Houston has a huge following. Love Houston. But the Lakers it's a different thing. It's like the Cowboys in football, okay?
Yes.
It is a different team to play for. I'm sure he's nervous. And if anybody can make that work, LeBron James can.
Yeah.
100% LeBron can. I mean, if LeBron, and this is going to sound rude, but if LeBron can make it work with Kyrie, he can make it work with anybody.
Oof. Man, my guy Kyrie, because I'm a Kyrie fan. And man, that's a whole nother situation, because I feel bad for the Nets, because the Nets are, you could tell, they lost against the Hornets last night. Even though, and we're going to get into the Hornets in a bit. That you could just tell Kyrie's effect on that team right now. But you're right, man. And LeBron has AD for a safety net. He has Carmelo. Shout out Carmelo Anthony. He just got the 9th scoring of all time. Oh my gosh, what better way to do that in a Laker uniform? And he's a big reason why they won.
With LeBron.
Yes,
one of your best friends to ever play the game.
Oh my gosh. See it. And well deserved. And he's one of the 75th men on that NBA team list. He well deserved.
And he should be.
He should be. He's one of the best Olympian players of all time too. Winning three of them. People don't think he's won 3. So you know what I mean? So, and again, man, it's like we're saying, we're forgetting that, Trevor Reece is still out. Kendrick Nunn is still out. They still got Wayne Ellington is still out. So they're trying to figure it out, man. It's a difficult situation to be in for Westbrook mindset right now. But I think eventually this is what happens with Westbrook. In the beginning of the season, he gets slow. He gets to, let me figure my new team out, because he's been traded for the past few years now.
Yeah.
But the second half, he fit. Right. But the second half, he turns into a triple-double machine. So imagine when he gets used to now. Don't piss off LeBron now, because he would trade you and get you out of here.
He will get you out of there like that.
For a shooter, which they should have got a shooter.
I think they should have gone and gotten Buddy Hield or Bradley Beal. Either one would have worked. Either one would have fit LA better. but for some reason they decided to go with Russ.
LeBron James is the point guard.
LeBron James is the point guard.
Him the point guard. I don't care how old he is.
He's one of the best passers of the ball I've ever seen. I mean,
I just don't get it. So you Westbrook, and he, you know how many air balls I saw him shoot last night? I'm like, dude, and the coach is not even taking him out. Now, are you scared that he's gonna react a certain way? Yeah, he's rocking the baby every time he scores. I love his energy, but at the same time, Westbrook, in playoff time, they're just gonna treat you like Ben Simmons. We want you to shoot that 3-point shot. You're not coming anywhere in this area. We're gonna clog the paint.
We already got too many bodies in here.
We got too many bodies in here. So and that's why this could be a hot take. Not even a hot take. If the Warriors play the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors take that, because Klay Thompson shooter, Wiggins shooter, I'm gonna leave the best shooter for last. I'm trying to figure out other
Jordan Poole shooter,
Otto Porter shooter, and Steph Curry.
Is it Danny Green on that team this year?
No, Danny Green's still with the Sixers. He's still with the Philly.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah.
But they wanted him. They wanted him this offseason, but I guess it didn't work.
That's right.
It didn't work. And Steph Curry, he's an okay shooter, right? Steph Curry, he's all right.
Yeah, he's all right. You know,
he's all right.
Okay.
You know,
he just shoots put from up the logo. Few threes here and there.
Yeah, he just shoots from the logo and like does his dance, you know. But
yeah, that's fine. Do the shimmy,
you know what I mean? And the Lakers lack shooting right now.
Yeah, really badly. Really badly. It is blatant that Carmelo is the only guy who can shoot a three on that starting five right now.
Oh my gosh.
And that's bad.
And free throws. LeBron can't hit a free throw.
And free throws.
Westbrook definitely can't hit free throws.
No.
Anthony Davis picks and chooses when he wants to be a good free throw shooter. Yep. They got DeAndre Jordan. He's improved over the years, but he's still not a free throw shooter. I don't know.
Still not great.
That signing was weird to me because it's like, put AD at the 5. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah. And I was like, why are you bringing in Dwight Howard again if you're going to bring in DeAndre Jordan also? Like, which one of these guys are you sitting? Which one of these guys are you starting? I mean, I don't understand how this one works.
Yeah. So
it's a weird personnel situation in LA.
It is, man. and I would feel bad if he gets traded, Westbrook, because again, it's his hometown. But who else is going to take him? Who else is going to? Because
no one.
I can see the Kings making a trade and getting Buddy Hill.
I mean, are you going to send Russell Westbrook in there with De'Aaron Fox and things going to work? I mean, that's not good. I don't know how that's going to work. They play very similar styles of basketball. And they're both play the point guard, and the Kings have made it very clear that they love De'Aaron Fox. They want
they're not giving him away. Hell no.
Yeah, they're not giving him away. So you're trading for Buddy Hield, and you're going to try to make basically two Westbrooks work on the same court.
And they will be dumb if Ben Simmons is an option for them, because why would you want Ben Simmons in there with LeBron? And
you don't
know.
They have to make Westbrook work now, okay? Because no other team's going to want him. And LeBron has to prove that he can do it with anybody. I mean, he's just going to be like, hey, I told you I can make this one work.
And you know what? You know the thing that's helping him out? Because what was it for all year? Well, not all year, but the beginning of the year. Nets, Lakers. The Nets are struggling. Nets are struggling. So Lakers, you got to take advantage of this, because in my opinion, if the Lakers play at their best, nobody in the West can beat them. Maybe a few teams, Nuggets, maybe if Jamal Murray comes back.
I feel like the Nuggets are still one player away.
Oh, yes.
I feel like the Nuggets are still one player away. Yes. I love Jokic. I love Jamal Murray. Michael Porter.
Michael Porter.
Michael Porter Jr. He's really good. I don't know that he's that that extra guy. Okay,
they paid him a
I don't
lot of
know if
money
he-
this season.
They
paid him a lot.
They
of
paid him a
money.
lot of money.
Mhm.
I'm like, are you sure that he's the guy who when you need him to take over a game, if the other two have an off night, is he the third guy who can take over a basketball game for you?
I'm not
I
sure.
mean,
and then the Clippers are Kawhi's not coming back for a while.
no, not for a while.
So this is the Lakers' chance because nobody. I feel like this is their championship. They can win the championship.
I'm like, you need to win while they're hurt, because if the Warriors get healthy, they will shoot you out of the building.
And guess what? They're gonna force you to play their game.
That's right.
And Westbrook,
they're gonna force you to back up.
Yep.
I mean, and how many of you can shoot? I mean,
you know what they should do?
Carmelo the ball and say, "Get us out of this."
They should not play a full 5-on-5 game. They should the Western Conference should be a game of horse.
That's right.
Have Steph Curry and Clay play horse with Westbrook and LeBron, and let's see how that goes. Let's just see how that goes.
It'll be bad. It'll be real bad. Steph's hitting it from the tunnel. LeBron's hitting fans in the crowd by accident. I mean, it's a mess.
Yo, all you gotta do is hit free throws. They'll win the game.
That's true.
So,
good luck.
Good luck. So, man, again, but at the same time, again, like we said, we started off saying LeBron, we're not worried. And, we're not worried. So, we'll see how the Lakers do, man. Let's get into it with the Celtics, man. My home team, man.
I am worried about the synergy in the Celtics building right now. Okay. I don't. Jaylen Brown is making the case that he is the number one on that team.
I agree.
You said this already. We talked about this before. He's making a case, but for the past 3 years, Jason Tatum's been the guy on that team. Okay. Nobody has questioned Jason Tatum is a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. If both of those guys start getting an ego toward one another, who do you have to trade? If you get like a head knocking, like a Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid style, the Celtics aren't going to ride that out like the 76ers.
Oh, no.
The Celtics will trade. Okay. They'll send them somewhere.
Quick.
They'll trade quick. They don't like that. Okay. They don't do that whole we have drama in the building thing. It's not New England.
Not New England.
Not New England. They stole a little bit of Bill Belichick's thing. They're like, the minute drama starts, we get them out of here.
Get them out of there. But the thing about New England sports, we don't pay anybody.
That's true.
We don't pay anybody. Look at the Red Sox. They just gave up at the end. Oh my gosh! And shout out to your Braves, man. Shout out to your Braves.
Let's go.
Shout out to the city of Atlanta, man. Now that's exciting. Hopefully they can get it done. That'll be impressive. But look at the Patriots. They don't pay nobody. They get rid of Gilmore, which is weird to me.
Yeah, which was so dumb.
Yeah, you don't pay the best corner. You don't pay the best quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. Stupid.
You traded away Isaiah Thomas because you didn't want to pay him.
Because what of his hip? I mean, yes, okay.
Because of his hip.
At the time, I mean, as a general manager, would you do a Kyrie for Isaiah? I would if IT was healthy. If IT was healthy. I would make that trade still. I wouldn't have made that trade because he's hurt. Because of what he's done for us. What he you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it was just a straight up they traded him because he got hurt. They didn't trade him because it's Kyrie Irving, Isaiah Thomas's. They basically gave the Cavs scraps. Not calling Isaiah. No disrespect to Isaiah Thomas. He's one of my favorite players. But that's what they gave the Cavs. So, your take on the Celtics, man, with Tatum, this is my take. Tatum, and they're losing, by the way, right now to the Hornets, and I'm very pissed off right now.
You should be. How are the Hornets good? That's the weirdest statement I've said in 10 years.
And let me read this off to you. All right. Let me read the stat off to you, okay? You got where is he? Where is this guy at? The starting point guard for the Boston Celtics. who is the starting point guard for? Take a guess. Take a guess who the starting point guard of Boston Celtics is.
Marcus Smart?
Yes, right. This has been the talk all before the season started. This is Marcus Smart's team now. He's about to be the point guard. He has 4 assists and 4 points. 4 assists and 4 points. And Schroeder, who should be the starter, he is starting because Al Horford's out tonight. Schroeder has 6 assists, 12 points. Not a big difference, but a big difference.
No, but a big difference. I've never thought that Marcus Smart was a great field general. Okay, I never thought he was a guy you sent out there and he could take over a team. I thought he was a great defender. I thought if you wanted a guy who you could stick on a dude and let him run up and down the court all night, he'd affect the game that way. But I never looked at Marcus Smart and thought to myself, yeah, that guy commands an offense well.
He's not a Chris Paul. He's
never
not a
once.
Steph Curry. He's not a Damian Lillard. He's not even a John Morant. He's not. Come on, man. He's not even a.
You could use a John Morant.
Oh my gosh, I would love a John Morant right now. What's the rookie that from Houston? Green, Jaylen Green. He's not even a Jaylen Green. And I don't know if you watched the game last night, but he was dunking all over the place on us last night.
Who's that kid in Orlando? Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs would be a better choice right now. Would be a better choice
right now.
Yeah,
I'll make that trade. So
Orlando, what you interested in?
What you want right now? I'll give you Marcus Smart for anybody.
For anybody.
So my thing is, man, I don't think Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum can win a ring together. And we talked about this, like you said, a few days ago. I would do, and because Jaylen Brown, I feel like this. If the Celtics were smart enough, this is Jaylen Brown's team, but they're not going to trade Jason Tatum because it's Jason Tatum.
No,
I would do a Ben Simmons for Jaylen Brown.
Really?
Because Jaylen Brown, I want to see Jaylen Brown succeed, and he will get more of an opportunity in Philly because Embiid can work down low. Jaylen Brown can work up top. Right?
That's true.
It takes a load off of Embiid because Embiid doesn't have to be offense, defense, every possession. Jaylen Brown plays both sides of the floor.
You're right.
Now, with Ben Simmons coming to Boston, Jason Tatum doesn't have to worry about now I got to share the ball to Brown because which you still should because that's what a good teammate should do. Right?
Absolutely.
You have if you realize you have a sidekick that can match you with points, can match you with defense, but that's not how they think because egos get in the way. But Ben Simmons can cover everything Jaylen Brown can do. You know what I'm saying? On the defensive side.
You're right.
And Ben Simmons will give Tatum the ball even more. I feel like Tatum will average 35 a game if Ben Simmons is on the floor because Ben Simmons attracts double teams every possession on the offensive end. So why not make that trade? Because it's both sides will it's like a fair trade to me. How you feel?
You're right. Both sides could benefit from that.
Right.
Now, I see a division issue. I doubt that the 76ers ever want to see Ben Simmons in the playoffs. And they might if you trade him. But I don't think they want to see him again. This one's going to be a weird one, but stick with me.
Okay.
I think this one could actually work. What if you traded Jaylen Brown for Bradley Beal? Send him to Washington.
Yep.
You got Beal to come in as a shooter. He could play opposite of Tatum. They play on opposite sides of the court. Tatum can get up close and personal a lot more. Bradley is a much more pure shooter kind of guy.
They're best friends too.
Yeah, they'd love it. They look great on that Olympic team.
I feel like if that was to happen, that is a better duo than Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, because the big question has been, even though us as people doing the podcast right now, people, the outside noise, we at the end of the day, we don't know what it feels like to be an NBA player, right?
Yeah, I have no idea.
But what we do see is what we see on TV, what we see in interviews. Sometimes it feels like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, I'm not going to say don't like each other, because I feel like they genuinely respect and like each other. But what we see on the floor is they don't mesh well together, because it's like, here, your turn. Oh, you missed a shot? Okay, my turn. Oh, you dropped 40 tonight? I'm not going to give you 42 points because I need to get myself this 25, because I need my stats to be, because you saw, I don't know if you saw the Knicks game, that double overtime game. No. Jaylen Brown, coming off of COVID, drops 46 points. Did he touch the ball?
He was on fire.
Did he touch the ball in the last few minutes in those overtimes? No. Who touched the ball? Jason Tatum. Who airballed a game winner? Jason Tatum. It's just like, and again, I'm not saying Jason Tatum, this is Jason Tatum's fault, because I do, like you said, Jason Tatum is a scorer. He's one of the best players in the league right now. But you got to give that to the hot man. And Jaylen Brown, after Jason Tatum missing that shooting that air ball, he looks at his coach like, yo, I got 46 freaking points, man. 46 freaking points, and I can't get the last minute shot. So I feel like ultimately for the Celtics to have a successful season, they're going to have to make a trade, because I can't see this work anymore.
Yeah, I don't see how it works. They play too similar a style of ball.
Yeah.
That it won't mesh on the court. Okay, because they pretty much play the exact same way.
Exactly.
Like, you have two players who are mirror images of each other as far as play style goes.
And it shows.
You can tell they both idolize Kobe, and it shows. Because they both try to play like Kobe. That doesn't work. If they're Kobe Bryant on the team with Kobe Bryant, one of them would have to be traded. Because it wouldn't work. Because Kobe needed the ball. One of those guys needs the ball more.
I'm going to tell you, they beat Houston last night, the Celtics. They played like the Celtics team that I've seen. But guess what? Jaylen Brown was out the lineup last night. Jason Tatum was in the lineup. Jason Tatum played like a Jason Tatum that we're used to. Fast forward to tonight's game, Jaylen Brown's back in the lineup. They're down 10 points with 6 minutes left to the Hornets, 114 to 104. Jason Tatum has 34 points. Jaylen Brown has 19 points. And the biggest factor is the others had a great game last night. Tonight, no one has a good game. And I'm not blaming Jaylen Brown. I'm not blaming Jason Tatum. I'm just saying they don't mesh together when they get on the floor. And Marcus Smart, you're a starting point guard of the Boston Celtics. You only have 4 freaking points. I don't want to hear that you want any more money after this. You got to drop 40 points at least one time. Marcus Smart, I have not seen Marcus Smart. And Marcus Smart's been in the league almost 10 years. I have not seen you drop 40 points ever in my life. No. Don't get me wrong. He does other stuff that doesn't hit the stat sheet.
Yeah.
He's an important player, but he's not a starter. He needs to get back to what he knows.
He's a great bench guy.
Exactly.
He is a great sixth man. Let him come off the bench. Let him run that second unit.
I've always pictured him with the Warriors. For some reason.
That would actually work.
Oh, my gosh. That would be amazing to watch.
I think he could come off the bench. He would be a great defender, which is where Steph isn't great.
You can help Clay.
Steph is not a great defender. He could help Clay. Clay can defend. Draymond can defend. Steph is not a great defender. You take Steph off the court, you put him on for that second unit. He will get defensive stops. It'll be great.
It'll be great, man.
Here's a weird one. I'm just going to ask. Just throw it out there. Would you take a trade of Jaylen Brown for Buddy Hield?
Any day of the week, because that's what the Celtics are lacking. Shooting.
They need a shooter.
Can't shoot. Marcus Smart definitely can't shoot. Jason Tatum is like on and off. Jaylen Brown can
Mhm.
shoot, but is he a shooter? That's a good question. Is
Yeah.
he can shoot, but is he a shooter?
I think
Buddy
he's
Hield is a shooter.
Yeah. I think Jaylen Brown is more utility. I think he can score from a lot of different places on the court, but he's not specifically like great in one spot. Okay. He's great because he can score from a lot of places, but he doesn't dominate in one area of the court.
Right.
But Buddy Hield scored specifically from three. Like Buddy buckets.
And guess what, Marcus Smart? I believe Buddy Hield has dropped a 50 ball before.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. I think he's dropped 50 points before. So I would definitely make that trade any day of the week. The Celtics are just they're too like loyal to default.
Yeah.
They want to keep the same core, and I don't know why they have Enes Kanter in there because he hasn't played a lick of anything these first few games.
Nah.
So that's what I'm saying with this with the Celtics, man. I'm not worried right now because it's just the first 3 games, first 4, whatever. But they're gonna lose tonight, so that will give them 1-3, and that's very alarming to watch. So
that's a tough start.
That's a tough start, especially for this type of team, because with this type of talent, and I'm hoping for the best because they have one of the best duos in the game, but they just don't mesh together. So,
but they just need to move somebody, and it's probably going to be Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. So
I mean,
and I'm sure throughout the season, we're probably going to have a lot to talk about with especially with this Lakers team, because I feel like that's going to be a hot thing to talk about because of their star power. The Celtics for sure. But let's get into something, man. We mentioned him just now.
Okay.
And I'm curious to get your take on it. The Grizzlies, man, they had a tough loss last night against the Lakers. John Morant dropped 40 points, by the way.
Yeah.
Missed a free throw, tough free throw. Lakers win. But the Grizzlies, man, overall, I've been impressed with these first few games, man. I've been impressed with these first few games.
I've been impressed with the way that they've had multiple guys scoring double digits. It's not Ja going out of his mind crazy on the court. They have a lot of guys coming off that bench, other guys on the starting 5 who are putting up numbers. I mean, don't get me wrong, John Morant looks insane. I think if he stays, this is a crazy thing to say now because we're literally only 4 games into the season. But if he stays healthy, he's going to be top 3 for MVP. The way he's playing right now.
The way he's playing right now.
If he can stay healthy and keep playing like that for the rest of the season,
and keeps this team to the playoff, and if he keeps this team in the playoff conversation, at least the 5th seed. He gets the 5th seed in the West.
Yeah. If he makes it to the play-in, if he does the play-in this year, if he makes it into the play-in, they have the potential to upset somebody. I don't think they're talented enough across the board to contend with a really good team, but there's enough there to at least get you in and to make somebody sweat a little bit. And he could win MVP like that. Okay. Like we've seen Russell Westbrook win MVP, and Russell Westbrook ain't got a ring at all. Russell Westbrook's terrible in the playoffs. Okay. It's that regular season performance that's what you look for.
Exactly.
And if Ja stays healthy and he keeps going out of his mind scoring like this, it's going to be hard to deny that he's got to be in top 3 in that conversation this year.
That's a really hot take right there. And I didn't think about that. I did not think about that because John Morant, especially at this early stage in his career, if he can get into the MVP conversation, if he can average 30 points a game, because his assist is up every year that he's been in the league. He's a great defender. He can fly and dunk over anybody.
Highest motor in the league, I think.
Oh my gosh. And he's tough. He's not scared of getting LeBron's face. He's not scared of getting anybody's face. The Grizzlies, they're like 2 players away. I like Jackson, like the kid Jackson.
Yeah.
He reminds me like a similar Tristan Thompson type of guy, but a better offensive scorer. I like Steven Adams being the big guy holding the fort down. I just feel like they need that extra maybe 2 to 3 guys that can just help John Morant
if
out.
they could bring in one like legitimate superstar, they would have something going on.
Right.
Like trying to think off the top of my head who I think would fit that team really well.
Because they're lacking defense a little bit too, like grit.
Yeah.
Like a defender that can score.
Yeah.
Let me think. A defender that can score who's in a bad team right now. Let me think.
Sabonis for the Pacers, isn't?
Oh, yeah.
I would take him at power forward. He can defend. He's a very intelligent scorer.
Ooh.
He can score from a lot of places on that court.
Oh my gosh.
He would fit that team really well.
Ooh. He brings it, and he can pass. His 3-point shots is really good. His mid-range. Oh my gosh. It's not a championship, but that's on the verge of starting something.
That's an upset team.
That's an upset team that can learn from that year and get better and better. And team players, free agents will want to come to that.
Yeah.
And that's
what the Hawks were last year. The Hawks, no one thought the Hawks were going to go win a title, but they got hot and they scared some teams that got cold,
Listen, if Trae Young didn't get stepped on by, was it the ref or somebody? Listen, the Hawks would have beat the Bucks.
I'm not sure we would have beaten the Bucks just because Giannis was on a tear and we had no answer for that.
But remember, he messed up his knee.
That's true.
Game 5, was it? Yeah. And y'all were up. Were y'all up 3-2?
Yeah, we were.
Going back to Milwaukee?
At one point. Yeah.
Or no, was it 6 games y'all lost or 7? It was 7 or 6?
I think we lost 6.
It was 6, right? So I think there was an opportunity for y'all to close it out or do something in Milwaukee when Giannis was out, and then Atlanta just got
Chris Middleton decided to have a good game.
I think that's the game he dropped 50, Chris Middleton, or something crazy like that.
Yeah, he went I think 5 for 5 from the 3-point line. He put up 40 points.
That's Chris Middleton.
Yeah. Never there, and then suddenly on fire.
So and I was rooting for the Hawks so bad, man. Yeah, when they beat the Knicks, when they beat the Sixers,
number 1 seed Sixers.
Sad that the Hawks are the reason why Ben Simmons is where he's at right now. But y'all are right there with the Bucks, and I'm getting this feeling that teams in the East are scared of the Hawks.
Yeah. They're getting a little worried.
They're getting a little worried. Trae Young they messed up. They messed up making Trae Young the villain because he's feeding off of that now.
Yeah.
He loves it.
He loves the energy. And I am here for it.
Was it against the Knicks or the Sixers when he made a 3 and he said, y'all real quiet.
That was against the Knicks. Yeah.
He said, y'all real quiet right now.
And then in game 7 against the Knicks, he drains that game-winning 3 and he just waves bye-bye to the crowd and walks out. And I was like, that is brutal. You can't do that in Madison Square Garden.
You can't do that. And I do feel off the bench, they need one more piece.
They need,
one more.
Cam's getting really good. Cam Reddish is heating up.
I hope they don't trade him because they were talking about trading him last year.
They better not.
They better not trade him because that's a big piece. He could score and defend, and he's tough.
What people don't realize is last year, DeAndre Hunter was hurt.
Yeah.
He was starting small forward.
Yeah.
He wasn't there.
And that's the thing, man. I'm hoping the Hawks have a great season because you know how this goes. The Cinderella teams, the year they have that year, and then next year teams figure it out. But I'm sorry, the fact that Trae Young can go, they're gonna have to make a 4-point line because
they will at some point have to back it up and then make them have to put in a 4-point line. Yeah,
and the fact that every time he crosses half court, teams are just, what are you going to do? Because now you can't stop his floater.
Yeah.
You can't stop his floater.
Absolutely not. There was no answer for that. Even Ben Simmons, who was playing great defense, couldn't figure out how to stop him when he just decided to go for the floater.
Right. And just
and
hold
he's
on,
just
Reece,
so
you
good.
froze
He's
up.
just so
You
good.
just froze up, Reece. Hold on, your screen's froze up. Hold on. Give me 1 sec. It's all good. You still can hear me, right, Reece?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Am I frozen on your end? I think we lost Reece again. We'll get him back on. Watch out for the Hawks, Eastern Conference team. Let me give you guys an update on the score. Oh, Celtics are down 1 now. Wow. Celtics are down 1. Now I was talking. I'm superstitious, so let me not look at the score anymore. So as we get Reece back on here, we'll get him back on here. The Grizzlies are definitely going to be a great team. If not this year, next year for sure. I feel like they'll get somebody in free agent if John Morant and the Grizzlies have a great season. A lot of great topics so far. We've been really diving in with the season. It's the first week and a half of the season. Been impressed with certain teams, but I'm pretty sure myself included with Reece, we're very excited that the season is on its way. We're gonna make some picks, our picks in the week. There we go, brother.
There we go.
What time's your flight?
We're gonna say 6 a.m. and we're gonna get out of here early.
I'll pick you up.
Thank you.
So yeah, man, we winding down a little bit, man. Let's get into some picks, and then actually let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break. And let's hit on some picks, and then we're gonna get into some college hoops, man, because college hoops is coming back.
Yeah, cannot wait.
I can't wait for that too, man. And we'll get back. All right, let's take a quick break.
All right, cool.
All right. We are back.
We are back.
Listen, let me see. The Celtics have tied it up.
Ooh.
122-122, a minute and 4 seconds left. Right after I was talking so much shit about them.
So much shit.
Jason Tatum has 38 points. Jaylen Brown has 25 points. The reason why I'm picking those two in particular, because I want to see how this goes. So as we get into our picks, I'll keep 25 seconds left. Please, no game winner. The how Boston Sports says you get the touchdown back in 2008 with Patriots undefeated season. You get the Celtics losing on the game winners every year, it seems like. You get the Reds. I'm just a little nervous here. So
I get
it. So
keep the ball out of Melo's hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't let Melo get it.
So, you know, and I'm not going to look at it. You know what? You'll see in my face if I'm happy or pissed off. So I'm not going to look at the score. I might have to because I'm about to look at these games. Let's get into some picks, man. Let's get into some picks. So we're going to go from Tuesday to Sunday. All right. And what we're going to do, everybody here, me and Reece are going to have a nice little challenge with each other, you know, keep each other's, you know, records. I'll jot down, you know, our records throughout the season. And tally that out. Obviously, we'll have like breaks and stuff. But you know, I feel like that'll be fun, right?
Yeah, it'll be a great time.
All right, so let's get into it, man. So starting tomorrow night, man, we have, and as I'm writing this down, Reece versus Charles. All right, we got the Sixers versus Knicks. Who you liking?
Sixers versus Knicks. I'm actually gonna say the Knicks on this one. As much as I love Joel Embiid, the Sixers are still a concern for me as far as synergy goes. There's a lot of drama going on, and then there is no drama going on in the Knicks locker room right now.
No drama at all.
None.
Julius Randle, Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, Robinson, JT Barrett.
They all look good. Gosh, I'm going with the Knicks on that one.
I'm gonna go with Philly, man. But just off the guy you just mentioned, man, who could stop this guy, Joel Embiid?
You got a point.
And it's in Madison Square Garden. You know Spike Lee's gonna be there talking hella crap to Joel. You do not want to piss off Big Ben Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid. You do not want to pick out Joel Embiid. You know, that's my best accent.
You do not want to piss off Joel Embiid. That is a force of nature when he wants to be.
So I feel bad for Mitchell Robinson. That's going to be a load to guard tomorrow. He's going to be a load to guard. So, you know, Joel Embiid, Seth Curry, who is playing amazing for this team so far. Really, really like that. Danny Green, Tobias Harris is playing well. And so I'm gonna go with Philly on that one, man. I'm gonna go on Philly with that one.
Isn't it crazy how Tobias Harris is always playing well, and yet he's just never mentioned enough on that team? Like he's always a solid player.
He doesn't show up in the playoffs.
That's true. He falls away. I actually forgot he was on that team last year when we were playing. When Atlanta was playing,
he looks scared all the time.
He does. I think he's afraid to get dunked on in the playoffs. I'm like, buddy, you got to stop somebody. Like, play a little defense.
Man, I could talk about that series all day with Atlanta and Philly. That was like one of the most impressive. Like Trae Young is, man, I love that guy. I love it
so much.
This is going to be an easy one for us. We know who we're going to pick. Warriors versus Thunder.
Okay, yeah. Thunder? No, just Golden State all the way.
Golden State all the way. Yeah, you know they got this guy number 30. His name, I think his name's Steph Curry.
Yeah,
some random guy.
Good.
He's all right. Now, would I pick him on my team? You know,
I think I think I'd put him there. If I had an extra slot on the bench, I think I'd put Steph in. You know,
it'll be my last pick in the pickup game.
I mean, if we had to pick 13 guys right now, I mean,
oh man. So yeah, we're going Warriors. We're going Warriors on this. This one is obviously another one. This is actually starting off right. We got the Lakers versus Spurs. That's obviously
That's as much as I love Greg Popovich, you can't outcoach LeBron.
You can't outcoach LeBron.
It's hard to do it.
You don't have nobody on this team that can guard this Lakers team. So we're going Lakers with that one. That was obviously an easy one.
Do I have to give a shout out to DeJounte Murray? Love DeJounte Murray.
Oh, yes.
Great guy.
Course.
But he's like the only guy on that team whose name I know. So that lets you know what the Spurs got going on. I mean,
isn't Tim Duncan still? No, he retired. I'm sorry.
No, he's well retired. I think the ghost of Tim Duncan still haunts the building. I don't think.
This one's an interesting one. and you're probably gonna be like, whoa, we're Rockets versus Mavericks.
Oh, that's interesting. I like Jaylen Green a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I like him a lot. I think he's already just like a surefire gonna be rookie of the year. We haven't even seen Cade Cunningham play yet. So that's hard. He's injured. We're not gonna see him play. And it's really hard to play in Detroit. Okay. The Pistons is a hard organization to win for. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Chauncey Billups is not walking through that door.
He's not.
Rip Helmington is not walking through that door.
He is not. He is not.
Oh,
I mean, you've got Jeremy Grant, and that's it. Good luck.
That's it. They got Kelly Olynyk. Like what the?
Yeah. Good luck.
What are we doing here?
So, but I have a very hard time betting against Luka. Just because that boy.
Oh, that guy. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, I forgot about that guy. Just because he makes the craziest shots in the world and somehow they go in. Like shots no one has any business making. Like Steph wouldn't even have tried that shot, but you got it to go. You got it to go in.
And his moves are so slow.
Yeah, he plays at the weirdest pace possible. Like nothing can make him speed up at all. He's like, I'm just gonna mosey down here.
Yeah,
just pick up this ball, just throw it up there. Everybody's standing around waiting to see what happens, and it goes in. And then he just walks back, plays a little bit of defense, not a lot. But this is gonna be. I'm gonna go for the upset on this one. I'm actually gonna pick Houston.
I was gonna pick Houston too.
Okay, all right. So
just the fact I'm going off of Houston because what I saw. Them play us the Celtics yesterday. They gave us a run for our money, and Jaylen Green is impressive. They have a nice core there with Wood, Porter, Kevin Porter Jr.
I really like Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. is really good. I like their system. It's gonna be a high scoring game, obviously. I do love
is John Wall hurt, or is he just on the bench?
So the thing about with John Wall's situation, John Wall and the Rockets came to a mutual agreement that they're going to find him a trade partner. But for now, John Wall's just going to stay on the bench and just help the young guys out. Kind of dumb because John Wall should be getting some conditioning and live play. But I guess it's probably just to prevent injury, even though he is injury prone. So, but that they came to an agreement with that. So they're just trying to find a trade partner. So,
okay, I got you.
Before we continue, let me see, please. I might be a little pissed off. Oh, yes. Overtime. 126 to 124 so far, Celtics. All right. So we got the Rockets. All right. This one's a big one. This is a good game for our last game for Tuesday. Nuggets versus Jazz.
Nuggets versus Jazz. I'm gonna say the Nuggets are gonna win this. Okay. Just because Jokic is really hard to answer.
Yeah.
If Donovan heats up, if Spider-Man heats up, he can take over that game, but that's really going to be dependent on how he plays. So I'm going with the Nuggets for this one.
Nuggets versus Jazz. And what I'm going to do is, and I just thought about this right now. So let me scroll down. How about this? And we're just going to make this up on live right now.
All right.
So we'll count these games what we have now. All right.
Okay.
So every week we will pick certain games. We'll go 1 week. I'll pick. So let's just say since we already started, I'll pick the remaining games that I feel like is good. We'll make our decisions. And then because it's going to be a long time just going from Tuesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. So
and there's a lot of games that
nobody cares about.
No one cares about. Okay,
no one cares about. You're right. So I'll do Tuesday games and Wednesday games, and then next week, obviously you'll choose a certain 2 days that you feel is good. All right.
Okay.
So that was our Tuesday games. We disagreed on what? Not that many.
You took the 76ers. I took the Knicks.
Yeah.
We both took the Warriors. We both took the Lakers. We both took the Rockets. Did you take the Nuggets too?
No, sorry, I didn't talk about that. Yeah, I'm picking the Jazz, and it's important that what I'm going to do is I'll say Nuggets at Jazz. So it's at Jazz. It's at Utah, and it's tough to win in Utah.
That's true.
I'm going to pick the Jazz on this. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. I like the signing of Whiteside. Whiteside backing up Gobert. I said Gobert. He's not a wrestler. That's the wrestler. Gobert. Having him back up Rudy is really good. I do like what I'm seeing from Donovan Mitchell this year, and Michael Conley Jr. is healthy, which is rare.
Very rare. But when he is healthy, he's great.
Yeah, Bogdanovich is there. I do like Ingles, O'Neal, who can play defense. They're the same group that was there last year.
Jordan Clarkson,
6 man of the year. Celtics, are you looking at him? Trade Marcus Smart for him. I would do that. Yeah, I'm just trying. I love Smart. Don't get me wrong. I love Smart. I'm just not impressed.
We need a starter.
We need a starter. Yeah, we need a starter. Right. So, Wednesday's games, man. We'll start our last week of the picks. We got Hornets, and you're hearing me saying how they're giving the Celtics a run for their money right now. They're playing at Magics. Who you liking in this one?
Okay. The Magic need a win really bad. Yeah, I know that. But I'm not betting against Miles Bridges, who is on a tear right now.
I forgot you. Yes, you were mentioning that offline. Miles Bridges.
He looks really good. So I'm going to take the Hornets on that one. I assume you also taking the Hornets on that one?
Yes, you're taking the Hornets on that one. Now, this one is this is probably going to be the game of Wednesday.
Okay.
We got the Heat versus the Nets.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is going to – and it's at Brooklyn.
Okay, so they're in New York. Okay, so the Heat's got to travel.
Yeah.
Oh man, that one's tough.
That's a tough one. But the Heat, they're both coming off a loss, I believe. Okay. Now they're blowing out the Magic right now. So they're gonna come to Brooklyn off a win. Brooklyn is also. Let me see if they have a game before the Heat. They're blowing out the Wizards right now. So they're both gonna come back
off a win.
Off a win. So who you liking in that one?
Okay. This is probably gonna be surprising, but I'm gonna take the Heat on this one. I know they're playing in New York, but I just like the synergy of that team a lot more. Tyler Hero's having a great year. I know we've just started, but he's really stepped up his game. And the bench for the Heat is better. I mean, their bench squad is a much better bench squad than what Brooklyn's got. So I'm going to take the Heat in that one.
We are both picking the Heat on that one. And again, KD, in my opinion, is the best player in the world. But James Harden is still coming back from that hamstring injury off of last year. He has, and he's in the news right now because the refs are not giving him his calls. The rule has changed, with certain fouls being called. They're actually allowing players to play now. And James Harden is just trying to get used to that because James Harden for years has been the best guy drawing fouls.
That's true.
He gets the basket, so now they're not calling it. So he's a little frustrated there. So, but the Heat play great defense. Bam, Jimmy Butler.
I love Bam.
Oh my gosh, man, best center. He could be the best center in the league. It's crazy. Heat with that size, he plays center. Kyle Lowry. Again, and people don't understand, even though he's hurt right now. They got Victor Oladipo.
Yeah. Who story of his career though? Poor guy's hurt.
Oh my God!
So much.
I think he's gonna have, and I hope he humbles himself. Not humble, because I know he's humble. I hope the ego part doesn't get in the way. He should come off the bench.
He should.
That's a spark.
He would be a great bench player.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, as far as a two-way guard goes,
yeah,
he defends. He's got a high motor. He's athletic as hell.
He's clutch.
He's very clutch. He can get up in your face a lot.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
I like that one too. Yeah. So
I think he should be a bench guy.
They got PJ Tucker. Coming back to Brooklyn, when he played with Milwaukee, he knows that they're probably going to have him guard KD. That's going to be a fun matchup again. So, yeah, I'm liking the Heat on this one. I just feel like Brooklyn, they're just dealing with a lot of adversity right now. And, once they trade Kyrie, because I think they are going to trade him.
They have to.
Not to get too political, but I don't know if you've seen, the anti-vaccinators protesting at the game, and they have posters and they're saying Kyrie, free Kyrie. Whatever that. I'm not going to get into the vaccinating part, but that particular thing is just hovering over Brooklyn right now.
It's disrupting for a team.
It's disrupting for a team right now, and that with that talent, they don't deserve that.
Yeah.
And again, that's no shade at Kyrie. Kyrie is going to do what Kyrie does. But eventually, unfortunately, they're gonna have to remove him due to that. So, it's just it has to be done. So, all right, we both like the Heat on that one. We got your Hawks, man. They're playing the Pelicans. They don't get to see the 300-pounder Zion, but
they don't. They don't. Also, Brandon Ingram really has come alive.
Yes,
in New Orleans. Okay, he has shown up
as
a much better player. It's his team.
Yeah.
Zion's there. It's his team.
Right.
As much as I love Zion, don't get me wrong, love him. Think he's a great player. Think he should have lost weight, not gained it. Not gonna get into that too much. But that being said, you can't win a basketball game by yourself.
Nope.
And the Hawks just have a much more
complete team.
Clint Capella is averaging a double-double already, which is what I need so much from them. Like, just get me rebounds, man. John Collins is explosive. Bogdanovich can shoot it from anywhere he wants to.
Oh, my gosh.
No one has an answer for Trey. So,
oh, my gosh. He has 32. He's playing Detroit right now. The Hawks are playing Detroit. He has 32, 9, and 4, Trae Young. Kevin Huerter, 14 and 4 assists. Bogdanovich, 14 points. John Collins, 22 points. Cam Reddish, 17 points. Lou Williams, 9 points. Dang. Oh, that was a big signing. Dang. Yeah. He's a center. 6 points. They got Delonte Wright. Man, they have a man. They have a listen. I know they're 1-1. That's fine. They're just getting back into the flow of things.
Yeah.
They're gonna demolish this Pelicans team, because this Pelicans team is they're just horrible right now, man. They're 0-3. They're winning. Wow, surprising against the Timberwolves, 64-50.
I would not have guessed that. I would not have guessed that.
But. Right. So that could have been my Celtics. I'm all over the place. My Celtics just won 140-129. Great victory. Great victory. Little discouraged about the defense, but I'll take a win. So we like the Hawks in that one.
Yep.
We like the Hawks on that one. Man, we keep just agreeing to. We gotta make this interesting, man. But we know basketball. We know basketball.
That's true. I mean, you did pick the Jazz over the Nuggets, and so we're gonna see how that goes.
We're gonna see how that goes.
And you picked the Sixers.
I did.
So we're gonna see how that looks.
Let's see. We got a few more games left. We got and this is a weird one. I'm not gonna. We could pick this one, but yeah, it's on the Wednesday schedule.
Okay.
Pacers versus Raptors.
Oh, that is a weird game. Okay, on pure just coaching alone, because I think the team is better coached, I'm going with the Raptors.
Yes.
Going with the Raptors.
Yes. Same here. And their experience, Fred VanVleet is just amazing to me off his side.
Pascal Siakam is really good.
Yeah. They're just really good. They demolished my Celtics a few nights ago. Just off of their length, they play great defense, and they're well coached, like you said, a championship coach. And
that's right.
That and it's in Toronto. So that's
so they got to travel. That's hard.
Yeah, they got to travel. Yeah. So we got the Wizards at Celtics.
Oh,
Wizards at Celtics.
See, this is a weird game because the Wizards have actually been playing really good ball to start.
They're undefeated. They're undefeated, right? Well, not anymore because Brooklyn just took them out. But the Celtics coming off a big win right here tonight.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Spencer
be
Dinwiddie is playing great ball,
my
ball
gosh.
in Washington.
Yes.
Kyle Kuzma somehow fit right in there. I did not expect that to work as well as it did.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is gonna be a tough one for me to pick.
I'll go first.
Okay, all right, you pick.
And clearly, I'm biased.
Yeah,
but that's not why I'm going off it. I'm going off it because it is in Boston. If this was in Washington, I'll pick the Wizards, but I'm picking the Celtics.
Okay. I'm gonna, just for the fun of adversity, I'm gonna pick the Wizards on this one. Okay, I'm gonna pick the Wizards, just because they have been playing really good ball, and there is some concerns about the defense going on in Boston. So
that's true. I should have never told you the scores.
That's right. That's right. You should have just left it alone.
Oh man. Okay. So we got two. Oh, sorry. We got a few more. Okay. We got Minnesota at Milwaukee. I am really I'm torn between this one because even though the Timberwolves are losing right now, they are the final results are not in right now, but they're 2-0.
They are. And there's some synergy actually starting to happen on that court for the first time in a long time. Anthony Edwards looks great. Karl Anthony Towns has always been a good option. Yes. I think D'Angelo Russell is finally just starting to understand what his role in that team's supposed to be.
Yes.
Because when he played for the Nets, he was the Nets. He had to be that whole team basically.
Yes.
And that's that this is a different scene. There are other guys who can score. I think he's finally figured out his role.
Pat Beverly is on his team, bringing that defensive mindset. But it's in Milwaukee, man.
It is in Milwaukee.
They're playing against the Greek Freak.
Okay.
Oh man.
I'm gonna be controversial for fun. I'm gonna pick the Timberwolves to win this. Okay. But I'm gonna say it's an overtime win. I'm gonna say
so you got
Karl Anthony Towns plays a great game and manages to keep up with Giannis for most of the night. I don't think that Milwaukee has a 3-point shooter like D'Angelo.
Right.
And as great as Drew Holiday is, I don't think he can keep up with Anthony Edwards all night.
No. That's be a tough. He's younger.
He's faster, way more explosive.
Yeah.
So I'm picking the Timberwolves.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks because of they're more of the complete team.
Yeah, that's fair.
And again, Giannis is just a load to deal with, man.
And if Chris Middleton decides to have one of those games,
one of those Chris Middleton games, But yeah, the Bucks, they're champions, and they're gonna. I think eventually they're gonna start picking it back up again because they're 1-1 on the season right now. But that happens. I'm not even worried about the first couple games, but. The Bucks definitely. I got this one. This is an easy one. Again, another one. I'll make sure we didn't pick this one. No, we didn't. Lakers and Thunder.
Oh, goodness gracious! If the Lakers don't win, they need to consider everything that got them there.
Right.
Okay? They need to go back and rethink everything that led them to that point.
This next one, man, is a pretty exciting one. We got the Grizzlies are at Portland.
Oh, that is interesting.
Dame Dollar versus John Morant.
I'm picking the Grizzlies. Just because as far as having more of a supporting cast, Jaw's got more scores. I love CJ McCollum, but he's the only other guy there. Okay, who else is scoring for that offense?
Yeah.
So I'm picking the Grizzlies for this one.
I'm gonna pick Portland because it's in Portland, and Portland that has something that the Grizzlies don't. Portland has Damian Lillard has a sidekick named CJ McCollum that can give you 40 any time of the week. They have a new coach in Chauncey Billups who's emphasizing defense. I like the signing of Larry Nance Jr. I like this. I like Covington. I'm gonna go with the Blazers. I'm gonna go with the Blazers in this one. Okay. If it was in Memphis, it would probably be a different story. But I like the Blazers in this one. Another exciting one. Kings versus Suns.
Kings versus Suns. Oh,
two young teams minus Chris Paul, but two young teams.
See, that's my deciding factor. I'm gonna go with the Suns because Chris Paul is there,
and it's in Phoenix.
It's in Phoenix, and I know that like Devin Booker can be on and off, but when he's on, he's on. He's on. We're going with the Suns for that one.
Yeah, we're both going on the Suns, and this one it's really easy. I don't know. Got the Cavs are at the Clippers.
Cavs at Clippers. See if Kawhi was healthy, I'd say this is an absolute no-brainer. But Kawhi isn't healthy.
No.
And they're playing at Clippers, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Just because I don't trust the Clippers at all, I'm going to pick the Cavs just for an upset game. Okay? I don't trust the Clippers at all.
I like it.
They just repeatedly just lose games they should be winning. So
I like it. And I'm gonna pick the Clippers in this one because they still have Paul George. And I do feel, once the Clippers eventually get Kawhi, they'll start making noise. But
and Reggie Jackson's great.
Reggie Jackson's great.
You guys should consider trading Marcus Smart for Reggie Jackson. Okay, that would work.
Benefit both teams. Actually, that would work. That would benefit both teams. I do like that. I like Terrence Mann. I like Tyronn Lue as a coach, and their experience from last year making it to the Western Conference Finals. But it's going to be tough without Kawhi. But I do like the Clippers in a nail biter in this one. A nail biter with that one. So that's it for the Wednesday picks, man. We
all right.
We got a lot of games that we have actually agreed on, but we do have a nice piece of games that we don't agree on. So it's gonna be real interesting.
We're gonna see.
Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna come back next Monday and see who got the better end of the stick. But our final take, man. And I'm gonna lead this off with you, man. College hoops is on. College hoops is on. We coming off a great season last year, exciting tournament last year. I'm really excited to see what Baylor does again because I feel like I believe they brought back their defense.
Their defense.
I call them football players.
I don't even. Last year, I was so certain Gonzaga was going to win because they were just so deep. They were deep going into that game.
I lost to our guy Dan in that because I was a big Gonzaga guy and they were undefeated. They were rolling.
Drew Timme and Jaylen Suggs. I mean, they all just looked so punked. Good.
They got punked against
They got punked. They weren't expecting that defense. They were not expecting
those
that much.
Freaking dogs, literally. They are pit bulls ready to.
They stayed on them all night.
Let me ask you, Reece, was that the most impressive defensive game in the college that you've seen in a while?
Yes. Just by far. I mean, as deep as the offense was for Gonzaga, it didn't matter. They just stuck to them all night. They wouldn't let them get free. They stayed up in their face. They kept hands where they were. They were clogging the lanes. They were not letting them get easy baskets. I mean,
oh my gosh, man!
They were just so efficient all night. The defense never made a mistake. That was
never made a mistake.
They just stayed in there. They just forced them to take tough shots over and over again.
And what did they do? They got Drew Timme in foul trouble early.
Get him out of the game.
Early, you take them out. Make them foul. You take them out, and I think a couple of them were offensive fouls.
Yeah.
And that gives credit to their defense, Baylor's defense. You know what I mean? So tell the people who you like, man.
See, this is a weird year for me as far as college goes, because two of the biggest recruits I've ever seen are coming in this year in Imani Bates and Chet Holmgren. Mm-hmm. And Imani Bates, everybody's been talking about that kid for as long as I can remember. He is a big deal. The comparisons that people have made about him since he was 15 years old, they've been comparing him to LeBron and Magic and Michael since he was 15 years old. That's a lot of pressure.
He has the talent, though.
He's got the talent, though. I'm not saying they're wrong, but also I thought it was very strange that much talent, and he says, I'm going to Memphis. He could go to anywhere in the country, and he said, I'm going to Memphis. Go to Duke. Win a championship at Duke. I mean, Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, North Carolina, you could have gone to any of these programs.
Listen, Memphis, Derrick Rose is not walking through that door.
No, Derrick Rose is not walking through that door. James Wiseman isn't walking through that door. Okay, you ain't got no teammates to go with that kid. Okay, but for some reason, Imani Bates decides to go to Memphis. I'm very curious to see how that's going to work. Chet Holmgren made the smartest decision you could have made. And he said, Gonzaga, I'm going to go play with a team that rolled through college until it got to the championship game last year. Rolled. Okay. So that leaves me to ask you, who do you think is going to look better through their college career between Imani and Chet?
All I got to say is Chet is 7 feet tall.
Yeah. Big old dude.
Right. Yeah. And my thing is, I love the experienced team better, because as a new player coming in, you're gonna feel that like we're right there.
Yeah,
the culture, the winning culture. I just feel like with him being on a team with Drew Timme, he's gonna help him out throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
He's gonna help him out throughout the whole season, and I had to look this up because I have what's his name, Hunter Salas. Hopefully I'm saying it. Hunter Salas, 18-year-old kid, guard, coming in. They're young, they're fresh, because what they were lacking last year, Gonzaga, even though they was scoring a lot, but they didn't have enough creators.
That's true.
They didn't have enough creators. And
there was a lot of options, but no one was just creating their own shot.
Exactly. So I feel like this new class that has come in a little bit is going to help Gonzaga out. Hunter Salas, look out for him. But to your point, man, I do like Chet better because he's coming into a program that is winning or on the verge of winning. With Memphis, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
You know
what have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? Now, anything can happen in college sports. That's why I love it.
Tournament time, baby. March Madness is what I live for.
Because we both agree Gonzaga's going to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
They're going to sweep through the whole regular season probably. But tournament time, it's the best. It's just one shot. You don't get. It's not 7-game series.
That's right.
It's not a 7-game series.
You play one bad game.
One bad shooting night, you're done.
You're done.
So if Memphis can get to the tournament, anything can happen. But I like Gonzaga, and I'm going to say Chet's going to have a better season because of that culture. It's going to embrace it. And you're 7 feet tall.
My only concern for Chet is the fact that he is 7 foot and 190 pounds.
Right.
He's got no muscle. He got nothing on him. Okay. He is just skin and bones playing basketball. Okay.
And they're probably going to have him because he can shoot, right? He can shoot a little bit.
He can shoot.
Yeah. He can shoot. And they're probably going to have him spaced out more, not on the block a little bit. Because if you're playing against a team that's like a Baylor, a Duke,
someone who's going to go for your face.
Yes. North Carolina, those type of teams, they're Kentucky's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have 3 7-footers every year. It seems like.
Yeah.
You know, so I just
still want to try it.
Yeah, so Chet should definitely get in the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
bulk
up because you're gonna need it, because if Gonzaga's, they have a one goal in mind this year.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get back to that, and I kind of think they want Baylor again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they want Baylor again.
I think they want Baylor.
They for sure want Baylor.
I don't know if they want Baylor.
They think they want Baylor.
But
I don't want Baylor.
But
I don't want Baylor at
all. So just like college football, you see how all these teams are just coming out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way with college hoops. This is gonna different teams that we're not talking about. They're gonna come out and show what they want to do, because again, certain players finally are getting paid. Finally,
mm-hmm. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. But with Gonzaga, they're the team that I'm looking at to see if they can bounce back, because I like those type of stories, and I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens with Gonzaga, and I would
be concerned with the physicality of playing a big team. And as far as Memphis goes, it's clear that your plan is going to be Imani Bates is going to be our star. Who are you going to put around him? How are you going to fill up that court? I'm very curious to see how are you going to make that work. Okay, you have the most hyped recruit in 10 years coming into the building. How are you going to make it work?
And you know LeBron's going to pull up to one of those games.
Yeah.
Just to see him.
Yeah.
Just to see.
You know, somebody will roll up. Dwayne Wade will be like, hey, my son just signed to the G League. You should really consider just going.
Shout out Zaire Wade.
Yeah,
hopefully he has a dominant season. So yeah, man, like I said, I'm curious to see who's going to show up this year in college sports, because you know, I think Baylor set the tone on like, yo, defensive wins games.
Yeah.
Because Baylor they had some scores, but they wasn't really. They were known for their defense.
Reminded me of like a classic Pistons team. Like, we ain't got to score. We just gonna make you not score all night.
We're gonna make you work, make you sweat.
Yeah, we're gonna make you so tired that we'll put up a little bit in the fourth quarter, and that's all it's gonna take for us to win.
The second half, if we only score 8 points, guess what? You're only scoring 2.
Yeah. If we score 10, you score 8. That's how this works.
Yeah,
okay? Like, we ain't
no ifs, ands, or buts.
That's right.
So, you know, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for this show we just started, man. This is, it's been a great first episode, man. You know, man, we are honestly on the verge of something great with this show, because you know, it brings a different element to our Thursday show. And shout out Dan for helping us out with this.
Huge thank you. Thank you.
And I want to shout out, and for everybody that has seen, you know, the promos on our IG, I want to shout out Nuff Talk for being one of our supporters, man. He's probably by far one of our best supporters for Erase the Chalk. And Enough Talk, man, you have been a big help for us with shouting us out, and we do the same for you as well. Obviously, you're one of our guys, one of our sponsors on here, man, and we appreciate you, man. If you haven't followed Enough Talk, please follow Enough Talk, and you know, check out the gear, man, and more stuff.
That's right.
More energy, more surprises coming on, and more moves happening with that. So we'll keep you guys in tune with that. Reece, this has been great, man.
This has been so much fun.
We on to episode 2, like Bill, but we on to episode 2.
Absolutely.
Anything can happen. And thank you everybody who tuned in. We'll make sure to keep updates. And let's see if let's see
how many picks I get wrong this week.
Let's see. Let's see how this goes, man. Anything else, Reece?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right, man. Everybody, thank you very much. We'll see you all next week. Holla.
Peace.